Hey guys, it's Megan from MeganElisaMedium.com, and today I'm talking to you guys about all the different ways that the spirit world can communicate with us. Have you ever woken up from a dream that felt so vivid, so real, from a loved one that has passed over into the spirit world? Have you ever had an experience where you felt their presence, you felt the love of that person, or they came to mind and you smelled their perfume? You ever had a something left for you that you feel was just for you? Have you ever had those experiences? Well, I want to tell you that those experiences are valid and real. That the spirit world communicates with us through many different ways. Not everyone is receptive to receiving or paying attention to the ways, but they do try, because the love that is there between you and your loved one is something that will never die. It's something that will connect you throughout all of time, and it will always be something that they are trying to let you know that they are with you. So I know for myself that I have had several very vivid dreams, mostly of my dad, who has passed into the spirit world. And almost always, I think maybe always, it's been through him calling me in my dream. And it feels very, very real. So he calls me and I answer and I talk to him, and it feels very, very vivid. Those kind of dreams are real. Those things that when you have those visitations, those are visitations. When we are in the dream state, they're able to communicate to us in a clearer way, because our brains are not as in the way as they are in a normal waking state. So I want you to know that those are real things. When those things happen to you, know that they're real. That's happening. I have also had things where I find things, or I feel their presence, and that is always a really beautiful thing to have happen. So you might be, maybe you're washing dishes, maybe you're doing something that kind of puts you into a meditative state, maybe you're driving. You know how sometimes we can sort of go driving and we sort of lose time, we sort of lose track of how do we get to this, we went from point A to point B, and how do we sort of do that? Well, it's because we're going into an altered state, into a meditative state when we are doing certain things, like if you knit, or if you do dishes, if you do something that sort of takes your mind into an altered state, it then becomes easier for the spirit world to connect and to communicate with us. So you might feel their presence. You might even hear your name. You might have different things like that. You might have an awareness of their presence. And I want you to know also that when those things happen, that is a real thing that's happening to you, that they are coming to communicate with you in some way, shape, or form. Now, sometimes that's because there's a need. Sometimes it's because you are in a place in your life where you are seeking that guidance and you are thinking of them, and that draws them near to you. Sometimes it's because they just want to let you know they're there. So there's lots of different reasons why they might communicate and connect with you in this way, or just to let you know that they love you, that they're still there, and that they're interested in your life still. They're just there in a different form. That's what people need to realize. We have a physical body. They just don't have a physical body. So it's not as easy for them to make their presence and their awareness known to us. Something I like to say when people talk about hauntings and that sort of thing, and hearing doors closing and all that. Now that is a whole topic for its own self, because that can be just an energy imprint on the space. Okay, that's what I believe. But also in the same regard, spirit people can come to communicate with us, and if we are very thick-headed or have very, very busy minds, where we don't have that sort of altered space ever in our day, or we don't have a meditative time, or we're not walking outside, and they can't reach us, they will try to do things that are a little bit more extreme if they can. So if they can close or open a drawer or make knocking noises, I think they're going to try to do that. So they're trying to get your attention. So just know that when those sorts of things happen, that's not a scary thing. We tend to think things are scary because we don't understand them, and that's a human condition. That our minds go to a place of fear when we don't understand something. That's sort of like our problem, right? And lots of areas in the world, right? Fear, misunderstanding creates all sorts of problems for us. So just know if those things happen, talk to them and say, hey, I hear this, or I am acknowledging that has happened. What is it you want to communicate with me? And just stay open. Just try to stay open and see what comes to you. Do you have a feeling that comes? Is there an image that comes? Is there a smell that comes? What comes to you? So, so I basically just want to say, when those experiences happen, know that they're valid. You're not crazy. You're actually experiencing these things, because all of us have the ability to make these connections. All of us have the ability to have a connection with the spirit world, with the greater source of where we come from. That is a spiritual gift within each of us. When you don't understand something and fear comes up, go to a place of love. Go to a place of love, because that is a much easier place for them to connect with us, because we must raise our vibration, and love is a very high vibration, and they have to lower their vibration to meet in the middle to communicate with us. So when fear comes up, that makes it harder for them to communicate, and also just causes us to unneeded distress that we don't need to have. Just because something is unexplained doesn't make it scary. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it's that you're crazy. If you're experiencing something, it doesn't mean that it's not possible either. Science and history has showed us all throughout time that we over and over again think we know what reality is or what the answer is, and it can be no other thing. And yet, a year or two later, some scientific discovery comes out that shows us what we thought before, that rigid thinking of, oh, this is the only way, is incorrect. So just remember that when you're experiencing these sorts of things. If you see, 333 on the clock, or 1111, or, if you feel that these are signs for you, if this connects to you and you understand that this is something that I'm seeing over and over again, there's these synchronicities, and or I'm finding pennies, or I'm finding feathers, or I notice my attention gets turned to see a certain bird outside every day, or there's visitations from, some sort of insect or animal or anything like that. The spirit world can use these things to communicate with us. It's not always direct. It's not always in your face. It's not always something you're going to quite understand what it is, because the spirit world can communicate in a very quiet way, because that's just how it works. It's quiet a lot of times because of our own selves, because we're not able to always identify what's happening, because the communication style is different than what we're used to. As far as speaking, we're used to having to, hear people speaking to us, right? Well, there's a lot more ways we can communicate with one another, and are communicating with one another, that we do not even realize is happening. Some people do. Some people that are, picking up on energy and can really understand the difference between what somebody's saying and what they mean, and through the energy of what's being expressed, and being able to tune into the other person's soul and that kind of thing. If you're somebody that is sensitive to those things, then it is easier for you to pick up on that sort of stuff, right? If you're somebody that's very against it and very that's not possible and very closed off, it's going to be harder for you to receive that information and for them to communicate with you, because of your mind. So just know that as well. So I just wanted to give you those little helpful tips for anybody that is questioning those things. Know that your experiences are real. I know people will tell you you're crazy. I know that. That's the thing. I know that you might feel like you're crazy. I know that there's a lot of questionable things when it comes to this work, and I understand that. I do. But you have to follow the inner voice, your heart, to know what's true for you. Don't let the mind or other people's minds interfere with that. You know what's true for you, and you know when these experiences are real and valid. Okay? So if you want to find me at meganelisamedium.com, you can book an appointment with me. I'm an evidential psychic medium. I do private readings, group readings, and public demonstrations. And you can also follow me on Instagram at She's Got a Rebel Heart. And I would love to have you come and check it out and communicate with me. If you guys have any questions you want to leave me that you'd like me to address in future videos, please just leave those in the comments below. And if you'd like to subscribe to this channel, make sure you ring the little bell so that you're getting new videos as they come up, so you're aware that they're there. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!